Welcome back. According to a report released today by the United Nations, the world suffered through unprecedented climate extremes between 2000 and 2010. And these are the last years that we have the numbers for. We had a caller earlier going, oh, yeah, look at this website that he promoted on the air that says that, there's been no climate change. It's all sunspots. It's right. From Hurricane Katrina and Sandy here in the U.S. to epic heat waves in Europe and devastating floods in Australia and the Middle East, virtually every part of the globe was affected by global warming-induced extreme weather. This report, published by the UN's World Meteorological Organization, noted that every year of the decade ending in 2010, except for 2008, was among the 10 warmest since record-keeping began in the 1850s. Oh, wait a minute. I thought the Koch brothers told me that warming had leveled off. No. The WMO report also says that between 2000 and 2010, 370,000 people died worldwide as a result of extreme weather events, and that death rate is up 20% from the 1990s, the decade before. Now, the good news is that a lot of countries around the globe are doing their part to fight the biggest threat that our planet has ever faced. Countries like Germany are leading the way when it comes to producing clean and green renewable sources of energy, while China, America's biggest competitor, has already rolled out a cap-and-trade program in Shenzhen, one of that nation's largest industrial cities, as a test for the entire nation. Unfortunately, you can't say the same thing about the United States of America. We're doing squat. It's because politicians in Washington are doing absolutely nothing to curb climate change or to prevent future devastating superstorms and extreme weather events. In fact, all of the recently elected Republicans in the House of Representatives say that they doubt humans are causing global climate change, despite mountains of research and studies proving otherwise. If you don't believe me, just ask freshman Republican Congressman Jim Bridenstine of Oklahoma. On the House floor last month, the freshman congressman demanded that President Obama apologize to Oklahomans for allocating federal funding to climate change research. Bridenstine said that, here's what we absolutely know. We know that Oklahoma will have tornadoes when the cold jet stream meets the warm Gulf air, and we also know that this president spends 30 times as much money on global warming research as he does on weather forecasting and warning. For this gross misallocation, the people of Oklahoma are ready to accept the president's apology, and I intend to submit legislation to fix this. End of quote. Bridenstine is proof that if you're a big oil company or a shill for the fossil fuel industry, buying off a Republican lawmaker is the best investment you can make. As the website opensecrets.org points out, Bridenstine and other climate change-denying Republican lawmakers have received a small fortune in campaign donations from some not-so-climate change-friendly groups. According to opensecrets.org, during the 2013 campaign cycle, Bridenstine, alone, received money from ExxonMobil, Latshaw Drilling, WPX Energy, Chesapeake Energy, Devon Energy, and Koch Industries. In fact, all of them were in his top 20 donors. For some big oil bankrollers, simply buying off Washington politicians isn't enough. That's where the Koch brothers, two of the fossil fuel industry's biggest friends, come in. Through their Americans for Prosperity front group, the Koch brothers have succeeded in getting politicians from Congress and state officials to sign on to a Grover Norquist-like pledge. But instead of pledging not to raise taxes, these lawmakers have pledged to block any legislation that might lead to cap and trade or a carbon tax unless it's accompanied by an equivalent amount of spending cuts. Right. The pledge, known officially as the No Climate Tax Pledge, was created by the very same men whose very own companies, this is the Koch brothers, emitted over 24 million tons of carbon dioxide in 2011, according to the EPA. So it should come as no surprise that the Koch brothers want to protect their so-called right to pollute our environment and their so-called right to do irreversible damage to our planet. More than 400 Republican lawmakers in Washington and across the country have signed on to this pledge, promising to, quote, oppose any legislation relating to climate change that includes a net increase in government revenue, end of quote. That number of shills who have signed on includes 76 Republican freshman congressmen, the entire GOP House leadership, and just about every Republican lawmaker in the state of Wisconsin, including Governor Scott Walker. Nearly a quarter of the U.S. senators have also signed on to the Koch Brothers pledge. I thought we were over it with the pledges already. I mean, once again, you got millionaires and billionaires corrupting our democracy, buying off our politicians, putting money and greed ahead of the well-being of the American people, and in this case, frankly, ahead of the well-being of this entire planet. You know, we just can't continue to let billionaires like the Koch brothers buy off politicians left and right while everyone else is left to suffer. Some issues are bigger than politics, and the fate of the only planet that we can call home is certainly one of them. It's time once and for all to get money out of politics, because if we don't, the end of the world and life as we know it may be just down the road. Go to movetoamend.org, an organization with which I have no affiliation whatsoever, but this is the tip of the spear to produce change. Movetoamend.org to reclaim your voice in our American democracy and thus help to save our planet.